So hello, my name's Kofi. I'm a member of MassLEAP's Breaking Voices team, and we're going to be doing some poems for you today regarding everything from prison reform to police brutality. And I just kind of want to give you guys a preview of what to expect in the slam. So if you guys hear anything that you guys like, or anything that resonates deeply with you, feel free to snap, vocalize, go boom, anything that really is powerful for you. Because spoken word poetry is a really interactive art. And I'm going to intro my piece for you guys. So basically, my piece is about police brutality. And it takes kind of a unique point of view on police brutality. It comes from the point of view of a baton. So this is baton. I orchestrate brutality, but I never wanted to compose this symphony. We batons fell into the role masterfully, though, as blue Beethovens adorned in badges used us to keep the beat on black notes. It's just that the syncopation of their screams is always the hardest to hear as it ends and repeats. Voices crescendo in agony as we direct the masterpiece. We helped create a piece once. We titled him Rodney. Reduced his life to 8 minutes of mutilation. It's hard to be a conductor for this selection, especially when they twirl us like color guard on parade, eager and willing to direct the next masterpiece. See, we batons, the color of midnight, turn black bodies into battered heaps. Now ain't that black on black crime? Are we just an officer's token black friend? Would he put us down the minute we look threatening too? We do our best to quell the rhythm of rebellion. We put rests on the voices of colored women so we can play the same tired tune over and over again. They never seem to get a solo. Only seen as a supplement to a black man's medley, the audience doesn't seem to like this piece anymore. America don't seem to like peace anymore. Black folk never wanted to be in admittance, man. I mean, they never even bought tickets, but they've been instrumental in this creation. Unplugged from society, all we wanted to do was make music. We never expected the dissonance of black instruments to create the best melody, yet keeping time on torture is something of a classical arrangement for us. Like leaving bodies to hang in the wind like high notes. Like massacre is musical. The list of compositions is quite extensive. Our tune tormented Tanisha Anderson. It serenaded Sean Bell into eternal slumber, and we took Eric Garner's breath away. We couldn't have done it on our own because what's a baton without an officer? What's a conductor's wand without a maestro? What's America without bloodshed? What's a black body besides brutality composed by the boys in blue? As you can see, he who holds my handle wishes I were a whip. Misses the sound of its crack and decided to make music with it instead. But who am I to judge when I am cut from the same wood that decorates that whip's handle? We are tired of making songs out of suffering, of turning the altercations between my maestro and black folk into twisted duets. Remove me from my master's hand before the body count rises like chord progression. I pray that this piece sees a finale soon, but for now the show must go on. America always wants an encore. Thank you. Thank you so much. So kind of just highlighting once again what I was talking about in that piece, police brutality is an issue that's what's showing up in the media a tremendous amount lately. It's not an issue that's ever not been around, but it's an issue that's been seen a lot in the media lately in the past few years, and things of police brutality and brutality against people of color. And it's really important that we take note of this and do our best to at least advocate for the stop of it. And coming up next to the stage is Agnes and Tope to do a poem for you guys, and I hope you enjoy it. Make some noise for them, please.
So we're doing a poem on solitary confinement. And basically, in connection to like what Kofi was saying about police brutality, solitary confinement is a way in which people of color, even within the system, are oppressed and are psychologically mutilated. And while we're speaking about solitary confinement because it isn't something that is often mentioned when when people are talking about the school to prison pipeline. No one really talks about like the psychological damage that is done to people within the system. And the goal of prison is to it's supposed to reform its prisoners, but solitary confinement has been a way for prisoners to lose human contact and to basically just fall apart psychologically. And our poem is to bring that to light.
So our poem is like a fictional it's just like showing a fictional representation of what could happen to a prisoner in solitary confinement. So within the poem, you'll see like different stages from like a person remembering, just like knowing like who they are and where they are, to just like breaking down and forgetting like simple parts of just like their memory, like forgetting that like there's like a world outside of the walls that they are in. So.
Just to make it clear, I'm going to be off stage and I am the wall, and Agnes will be playing the prisoner, if that makes sense. Just so you aren't confused. Great. Day 1.
I am my mother's daughter, a mesh of cells and promises she sewed by her bedpost. My mother birthed me on the hottest day of August, under humid sun, blood, sweat, and prayers. I once asked her if heaven was an endless birthday party. My mother laughed with wind chimes in her esophagus. I can't quite remember the notes. The quiet quickly quarantines all that is left of her in my memories, but I know I am my mother's daughter.
I birthed dead babies here.
My mother smells of black soap and plantain skins.
Prison reeks of an industrialized orphanage.
I will not die here.
Isolation will make a hollow ghost out of your soul.
My sadness will never become solitude.
Day 60.
I tried keeping count of the days.
You carve out my body.
Inscribing tally marks with my fingernails until they bled.
To keep count of how many days you've lied inside of me.
At least I know I'm still breathing. I know I am my mother's. You made a mess of my mind. I can't remember the sun.
Then how do you explain the burning?
I can't feel the breeze.
Then how do you explain its whisper?
I dreamt of a woman last night. She spat out shattered wind chimes and grabbed onto melting candle wax until her flesh burned. I don't remember what that means.
You grasp onto what you can no longer hold.
I don't remember being held by anything other than concrete. My pillow tries to suffocate me at night. I can hear the walls whispering my name.
You won't listen. We steal your voice and save the silence.
If you can hear me, then why can't you save me from myself? I am
Day
my mother's
93.
daughter. I am.
Too often your
mother's
kind
daughter.
invades our insides, seeking rehabilitation within us. No one remains the same after talking to the darkness for so long. Humanity does not exist outside of concrete. Leave human insides to rot like flesh. Memories diminish within these cracks. When cruel and unusual is inscribed between bricks, solitary confinement is mental homicide, and you just watched it take another victim.
I am endless. I am endless.
Up next, we're introducing Michelle and Chinma.
Hello. Hi. As I said, I'm Chinma Akanawa. I'm Chinma Akanawa.
I'm Michelle.
And we were part of Massachusetts, Boston's B&B team, where we played 6th in the world. And yeah, thank you. And so this is going to be our last poem for today. And this poem specifically centers around the death penalty.
Yeah, and we want you guys to take notice also in the placement that we put these poems. We put it intentionally, we intentionally placed it based on like the order in which like they happen to severely happen. So like police brutality, and then solitary confinement, and then something so horrific like the death penalty. And the death penalty, like as many know, it's legal, I think it's legal in 32 states or 31 states. And the last lynching happened, I believe, in, I forgot the year. But it wasn't even that long ago. Like it was less than 50 years ago. And we want to really think about the fact that like we were just hanging people as a form of punishment. And where does that fit into our society? How has that looked like before? And how have we tried to punish, especially even like minorities, in the same ways? And what makes this okay?
Yeah, so basically the death penalty is obviously an inhumane way of punishing people. And it has ties with public lynchings decades ago, specifically in the South. And there's just something really horrific about making a death entertainment. So our poem is going to be about that. On June 16, 1944, 14-year-old black boy George Stinney Jr. is put to death for killing 2 white girls. I wonder why they came just to watch the body burn. They'll see his screams in the newspaper anyway.
His last breath will be whispered between neighbors.
He lived 14 years. They convicted him in 10 minutes. I heard his mother showed up.
It was during her lunch hours. She tried to cover her eyes,
still peeked through her fingertips. Her son was nothing short of a spectacle.
They put his death on the postcard.
In the news, right before our eyes.
His death was served like raw meat.
Crude and hard to swallow. Served on a white porcelain platter. For everyone to eat.
For the lynch mob to partake of.
For the guards to feast upon. He was later found innocent. What's the difference between a lyncher and an executioner?
Which one is more noble?
Whether under a tree or in an electric chair, the body rots all the same. What makes the death penalty more humane than poplar trees in the summertime? What makes it more justified? America found a way to commit murder, legally. Found a way to play God, to have the privilege to dress up like his son, or to make his son dress up in its image. Who do prisoners pray to? Beg to have mercy on their soul. Look them in the eyes on Judgment Day. I heard he gave his last breath to his mother.
That he made it the soundtrack to his wake.
I heard that she prayed for him. I heard that she whispered his eulogy.
It sounded like Emmett.
It sounded like hands gripping armrests. America is always willing to host a funeral, but fails to have rehabilitation in its prisons. They hide cruel and unusual punishments underneath their tongues. Claim that it tastes like justice, like they had it coming in the first place.
I guess there's nothing cruel when the death penalty swings from the 8th Amendment.
There's nothing unusual when you normalize killing.
America, I guess you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
It's always been easier to put us down than train us. Easier to call it capital punishment than homicide. Who stands trial for the death penalty? Who is convicted for this massacre? Will the judge be indicted? Will Congress testify against themselves? Is the warden a witness or an accomplice? Who will come to see the spectacle?
Thank you. Really quick, we really wanted to thank you guys for having us. It's an honor to perform for you guys. Writing these poems, it really made us think about our society in which we live in. And I know that the police brutality has been in the news recently, but sometimes you don't even think about the other forms of punishment and the other ways that we're being oppressed systemically. And this just looking up these facts, Like, there's so much truth, and it's just amazing to see that this is all legal, and this is all, like, there's so many things that you would think, would it still happen in 2016, that resembles so much of the past. And it's crazy to see. But we really wanted to thank you guys for having us. If you want to find out more about our organization, come to other events or anything, our website is MassLEAP.org. So thank you for having us. Enjoy the rest of your day.